now tangled this thing and I can't get it undone. I'm smarter than the weird hair tie. I am. I promise you, I am smarter than the weird hair tie. Okay. I should be writing the start of EJ's next chapter, but just need to get into the right headspace, and this usually helps me get in the right headspace. So let's chat. Let's talk about things. Let's get hyped for me to start writing. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, just thought I'd come up on here for just a little bit. You guys always get me into like the excitement and the mode of writing. So just thought I'd come on here and we could chat. And it's a different time, and maybe some people that can't join regularly have time now. So hi, Amanda. So we're here. We're talking. Hi, Allison. I'm sure all of you saw. Hi, Allie. The Facebook post today. I do have like a point where, talking to other people, it apparently needed to get said in the group. Whatever. Maybe a little chill out. Hi, Layla. Hi, Andrea. So let's all cross our fingers that everybody remembers that we're respectful and there's no need to attack anyone in the group. I'm not entirely certain why that needs to be said. We're all adults, but it's been said. So let's all cross our fingers that this is behind us. Hi, Cassandra. I was actually watching a couple of lives earlier. So what's funny is I didn't actually know, like, there are other choices like to use for these videos, and I didn't actually know they were like posted on my YouTube channel, which now I know. So, but yeah, it was just somebody asked me about it. They're like, what are these? And I was like, oh, those are out there. All right, that's fine. Whatever. Not like a famous YouTube person that people search for my videos. But yes, that happens, guys. But yeah, does anybody have any questions? I guess we can start off with, give me some new questions for the list. Hit us, Amanda. Yeah. Guys, this next chapter starts off with a bang. With a bang. And for those frustrated at the signs being ignored, yeah, that's not going away. We're going to be annoyed at the signs being ignored, and the choices being made. There's stuff going on, you guys. I promise. Stuff going on. But signs get ignored. And believe me, there are people who will have their say about that in a very smarmy, fun way. So, how are Isaiah and his mate doing? They're fine. They do have kids. They live in the Shroud. So Heath has a fairy. And did she share her light? She did. So, a question people haven't asked is Beta Alfred. Beta Alfred got his mate from Sophia's pack. That's Sophia's fairy. So Sophia has a fairy too. Good morning, Sylvia. Did we actually catch you at a good time? I feel like I always get you like at 0 dark 30 where you live. Mel's situation isn't going to get resolved until Alexander's book. Is it resolved? That's such a hard word to qualify. We're gonna jump around in some stuff. I don't know how to answer that exactly. Resolved. It's such a hard word. We'll see. Do all Haley's kids end up getting their wings? Yes, they do. It's 4:20 in the morning here. Well, I guess that's better than 3. Slowly but surely, we're going to get a good time for Sylvia. Why, after all these years, has no one got frustrated and either Drake or Eric point out? Have they? We're going to see an actual conversation at some point where that gets discussed. And there are things going on. And like it was pointed out in the last chapter, EJ said that they were mad because Eric called and offered for Haley to go heal Mel and Sam. But then we see Elise's side, and Drake and Sam were a little hurt that it didn't get offered. But Alexander, who cannot lie, said that his dad called Drake, and Drake said it wasn't an emergency. Something's up, guys. Discussing something with my husband. You said Alexander's mate would be half wolf, half race we haven't seen. That's not Melanie, though. I did not say that about Alexander. I have said that about one of the Connors. One of the Connors' mates is half wolf, half something we haven't seen. And actually, I believe that comment was made about Keaton Daniels. So it's not Alexander. Alexander's mate has always been set in my mind. Yeah, that comment was made about Keaton. But there will also be a couple Connors with mates of something we haven't seen. And we also haven't said that Alexander and Melanie are mates. So we'll see. Is there a traitor in Red Run? Certainly seems like it. Certainly seems like it. Which of Haley's kids shifted the earliest, and how early was it? I haven't plotted out all of their shifts, but in my head, it's going to be Angela that shifted the soonest. She leans more toward her fairy side, but, she's a little mischievous, and she sees all her siblings do it, and she wants to follow them around. Plus, she has sight, and she can see people do it in her sight, so she was first. Stupid phone. Okay, there was a question about Aiden. Hold on. I clicked it, and it opened it. If Aiden shared his light, would that make Lucinda stronger? It certainly seems to do that for the partial fairies. I have a feeling Alexander and Melanie's meeting would be a big cliffhanger at the end of the book. We won't see them meeting till his book. Well, that would be his point of view. So we're not going to have his point of view in EJ's book. To see all his emotions. So that's not to say that they're not going to meet in a different book and we don't get their emotions to that side of it. Because as Alexander has said, it's kind of a fear of his that they meet and they're not mates, but then you have Melanie who is just adamant that they are. So we'll have to see. Bjorn promised Queen Sophia. So I just edited that chapter today. So I read Queen Sophia and I changed her name. So I was like, Queen Sophia. Oh yeah, I changed her name today in the edited version of the book. His next 3 off periods, have those happened? Yes, they have. Yes, those off periods have happened. So. And if anybody wants to know, I changed her name to Serena, Queen Serena, in book 1. So I just got to it and I was like, oh, this is confusing with Sophia. Sophia Thunder's our alpha. And I was like, your name gets changed. Who is Astrid's off period? She doesn't have a set one. So. Torvi has Alyssa. That's kind of a set thing for them. But Astrid doesn't have a set person. But yeah, guys, this next chapter is going to start off. We're just going to go right out the gate. Just right out the gate with craziness. Right out the gate. This chapter gets intense. Not book specific related. Did you start writing with Haley's book or have you written other things prior? I don't have any other books. I wrote a little bit of fan fiction for the Southern Vampire Mysteries, so the Sookie Stackhouse novels. I hate how those ended. Obviously, it's not my story. It's, it's not my choice. But I felt there was injustice done there. But so I wrote some stuff to fix some things that I thought I liked better. So, but I mean, they're not done, and I started writing this, and I don't really do those. The Royal Siren Girl. Is she coming in this book? Is her half brother half human? What is her mom's other half? We shall find out more about her later. And no, her brother is not half human. Hi, Monica. Is Alexander... What? Is it Alexander that's supposed to go to the hood first to spare his mate some pain? I don't recall the exact details. I remember something. Okay, so Lexi got a warning that said if she could get Alexander to her territory with Chase, that they could spare his mate some pain. I don't know that she was specifically told it was Alexander. I think she was. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, she was told if she could get him there, it would spare his mate some pain, but she wasn't given any other details. So, will Haley ever get clued into what's going on with Alexander? She does. She does. But it's not that she's clueless, because we've seen Haley. She's very smart, but she's also very respectful of people's feelings and how they want to approach her. She's more so now that she has her therapist degree, and especially with her children. So because they all know that they can go and talk to her. So for her, this is, letting him grow and make his own choices and be his own man, knowing that he can come to her at any time and talk to her. She hasn't. So, it's mentioned in the first book. Miley says, sometimes you're really observant. Sometimes you can walk an elephant through the room and you don't notice. She doesn't know that he likes Melanie. And she has no idea that he feels like they're keeping Melanie from him, because she would not let that fly. We all know that she wouldn't. So yeah, she is very observant. She's very smart, but she's also kind of like oblivious to some things. I feel like she's such an interesting character that way, because she is very smart and she figures things out, but she's also at the same time, like, all these other people have picked up on it, and she's like waiting for Alexander. She knows something's bothering him. Obviously, she knows something is bothering him, but she's not quite sure what it is. And part of it is she's like, oh, maybe it's because he sees all his siblings getting mates, and she kind of like gives that a little bit to Eric, because he can understand that better than she can. And so, that's kind of where her mindset is at. Just wanted to say you are an amazing author. Really enjoying all the content you give us. Oh, thanks, Christine. No, it said one of Haley's kids. Okay, yeah. I was like, it might have been like, the goddesses are not like super specific. Well, I guess I'll just tell you it is Alexander. Lexi doesn't know that, but it's Alexander that needs to get there. Are there Hakura couples that don't have off periods, or is it really more like a rule in their own? It's not a rule. It's a conversation. Like Logan and Katie don't have one. Some of the Hakura who are mated with humans, they don't have them. Just depends on who their mate is and their race. Their thing is more about the conversation, the communication, and respect. Like it's done on what they both want. So, will any of the kids have their wings? Yes, they will. Someone please request the point of view of Haley physically cleaning. Someone did that today. Yeah, somebody did that today. From Haley's point of view, from the last thing. Okay. Wow. I gotta catch up. Okay. I don't understand how EJ and Elise are so good together, but everyone is missing all the signs of something being wrong. Just hold on. It cut off the question. Wrong, and just putting a pin in it. So part of this is it's not necessarily that all the characters aren't talking about it. We are following EJ and Elise. Now, Elise did ignore some signs that maybe we should have talked about this. Like, the smell in the McAllister's house, and she opened up all the windows and aired it out, and by the time they came home, it didn't smell like that anymore. and she picked up the potted plant. So they had no idea that any of that happened. So yeah, that's something that was ignored. At the end of the voicemail, Melanie saying, "What the heck was that?" We should have thought about these things. But at the same time, you've got to put yourself in Elisa's shoes. This was a big night for her. She just became the Luna of a very large pack. She's got a lot going on. And in her mind, like, it was very hurtful that Melanie wasn't there, because she does consider her family. She does consider her little sister. And the fact that, I don't know about you guys, but I have a best friend. She doesn't live here, but I have lots of other friends that moved away, and you kind of lose touch. Like, you keep in touch, but it's not like a constant thing. And that's kind of what's happening with Melanie. Like, she's living her own life. She's in New York, and they're keeping touch, but it's not as consistent as it was when they were in the same place. They love each other. They're always going to be family, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there are things being ignored, and as the reader, you're going to be like, "Oh, come on, now this too," because there will be more things that get ignored, guys. And we're going to hear a bit more from Drake and Sam about kind of their what's going on in their heads. And there's a little bit of guilt in their heads for how they feel like they held Melanie back, especially Drake. Drake feels like he kept her so sheltered, and he owes this to her to let her live her dream. And but it's tearing him apart inside him, and we hear that in the next chapter at the beginning, and then it just pops off, guys. It kind of pops off from the beginning, because you hear this from Drake, and it's just it's heartbreaking, because he makes mistakes. He's he has a human half. He's a supernatural, but he's still human. And he's a person. He makes mistakes, and he held her really close because he was worried about her. He's worried about her safety. And now he just feels like he needs to let her fly. And it's, things get ignored, guys, because of guilt and things happening. I think I have a guess on her. I don't know what this guess on who. I need that clarified. How could Mel go off to Juilliard? She would get her wolf while she was there. So Melanie isn't at Juilliard. She's at that high school that we discussed. She's going to high school at, I'm going to mess this up so badly, Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art for the Performing Arts. So she's not in Juilliard yet. That's why she told Elise she had a shot of getting in. The teachers there were telling her that. So she's at a performing arts high school. So, and she's with that family. So there are still PACs in New York. She is with that family, but the plan on the McAllister's side, it was obviously to bring her home for that. That's a big moment to be with her family. Now, did we think that happens? That's another question, but that is the plan. But obviously, if she needed to be on PAC lands, like there are PACs in New York, and that's why she was staying with that family. Someone would please request Emily meeting Melanie. I thought for sure someone would request that. I have a guess on the siren. What about the siren? We can talk about that. Sorry, not a question, but I have to say your hair is, oh, thank you. Yeah, I have really thick hair. It's normally up, but I showered and didn't dry it. So now it's just doing its weird thing. How many alphas will their PACs have now that the kids are taking over? So they kind of do like a hybrid thing. The kids and the cousins all really believe in the fact that you should do what you want, what you feel led. And some of the kids take on, more training things. Some of the kids want to cook. Obviously, we saw Daisy's mate, Zoe, is Mrs. Blanche's protege coming up. She's not really going to take the Luna role. She's going to continue to do what she loves because that's what Daisy wants for her. They're being untraditional and they can because they have a bunch of other people to step in and do things. So it was me. What was you? I feel like I'm out of order on these now. Hi, Levon. But yeah, the Connors kind of have their own little unique thing going on with all the supernaturals they have in there, and then they have, like obviously Max is mated to Micah, and they kind of split their time. So he still helps his brothers out. He's still gonna have some alpha duties, but he goes back and forth with Micah because Micah is like Gunnar will explain it later, but he says Micah is better at him than computers, but it's just a different type of like Micah's more into coding than Gunnar is. It's not that he's better; they're both very talented at it. But yeah, Micah is very into that, so he's obviously very integral to Bjorn, just like Gunnar is. So you have them together, and it's interesting because they're going to come up against some stuff that they're not used to, because they're used to being the best at everything. But as we saw, like the sniper has information they don't. And so, that's kind of like a challenge to them. They're fun. It was me who requested. Yes, it was. Okay, now I see it was me. I'm like, what was it with me? Got it. The scene. The Siren has to be Keaton's mate because Alexander's mate teaches her how to fight, and we know Mel is an amazing fighter. I think that she could be. I think that she could be the Ducant Alpha's daughter because you said her mom goes through men, and we know his brother's looking for children. That is a theory. We shall see if it's right. Let's see. How close to the end of EJ's book are we? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. When we see them next, they're going to be 21. And yeah, by the end of the chapter, they'll be older than 22. We're going to jump around a little bit in that age because they've been 21 for a while. For a minute. So we'll see them turn 22. We'll see some different stuff going on. That, blue circle with a line through it keeps popping up. Yeah, we see some, we take them through that. There are still a few things that are going to have to happen. I don't know how close we are to the end of this book. Yeah, I don't know. Did you know that when you wrote about Haley, her problems with being around people and being touched, that is a real thing people have? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I knew that. I did know that. You also said you have no chill about the Siren or Alexander's mate, and you absolutely have no chill about Mel or Keaton's book. I don't have chill in general. It's not really my thing. I am excited for Cassie's book too, because on her mate's side, we learn a lot, guys. There are a lot of things going on that side. Do angels' wings get an extended life? Yes, eventually an angel's wing becomes an angel. That's why it was mentioned that, their goddess is very selective about who their wings are, because eventually they become angels themselves. How did Fabian end up killing Oscar's dad? How did he find him? Oh, he has a group of people that help him, and there were several people looking for Oscar's dad. But how he ended up killing him, he was captured in iron, and Fabian came and tortured him for a while and then killed him. Hi, Fairy Godmother. Did you see my message to you? If so, do you have any comments? Message. Did you ask a question? Or let me see. Is there something in my inbox? I don't have anything in my inbox. Did I miss a question? Hold on. Oh, you mean your theory? Okay. I did see your theory. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not. I will say I think it's an interesting theory. I will say There's some truth to that, but it's not wholly correct. But yeah, we'll definitely see some resentment for the moon goddess coming up. That is absolutely going to happen. Alexander is he's not going to be happy, guys. He's going to be he's in a weird spot for a bit there, but then when things start to come down, he doesn't get very happy. He doesn't go to a happy place, guys. Doesn't go to a happy place. Does Lucinda have siblings? No. In the reality where Fenelton defeats Fabian, does Fenelton know that they were the promised family before or after Haley was born? In the outtake, it mentions the goddess tells him. They knew after Arian was born that they were the promised siblings. So they knew there was going to be one more. And in the reality where Fenelton defeats Fabian, there's a reason for that. And we see in the prologue how he knew. I bet people could guess how he knew. Is that the end of that question? Hold on. I got to see if it cut it off. Who are the two Fae that Aiden brought to guard Haley in Lexi's epilogue, and who is the Fae guard that Cassie has? They're not important. Does Emma still have her Fae guard? No, Emma doesn't have her Fae guard anymore. Let's see. I sent it to you on Patreon. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Will we find out how Melanie is so sure Alexander is her mate? We will eventually figure that out, yes. Who is Lacey's second boy in LE? I don't know what LE is, but we haven't met him yet. We will meet him. Would you ever end a book where the main characters don't have a happy ending to their story? Oh, this is such an interesting question. Because, guys, we might end a book on a cliffhanger shortly, soon, That could be happening. Because it's going to get resolved. So, yeah. Just remember you asked that. Will we find out what happened at the McAllister's house and why it smelled so strongly of cleaning products? Yes, we will. Will we find out in this book? No, we will not. Will we find out? Yes, we will. Let's see. Does Cassie and her friend get their own badass girl gang day? I haven't decided. I think they would. I feel like she would put that together. And I feel like if she didn't, Angela would demand one. Okay, I answered that. Let's see. I mean, in Lexi's epilogue. Yeah, we didn't name him yet. We meet him later. If hating, okay, we shall wait to find out. It's not an evasion. We will find out. It's just not in this book. I feel like that's not evasive, guys. That's an answer. We will find out. It's just not in this book. But yeah, Rebecca, that's an intriguing question. I am fully aware that at the end of this book, people are going to freak out. I'm fully aware of it. I'm mentally preparing to, post the epilogue and the first part of Cassie's book, and then just go hide from the internet, guys. What is Beta Bond's pack like? Are they progressive? Yeah, they're not a bad pack. They're in California. Obviously, Tabitha stayed there. She would not stay if they were not a progressive, better than where she came from pack. So, will we find out who is causing problems for Melanie in EJ's book or Alexander's? We don't know that we'll find that out in either. There are a lot of things being set up in this book, and a lot of things being set up in Cassie's book. There are a lot of things that get resolved in Alexander's book, and I just want to remind everybody that my original plan was to write Alexander's book next, but everybody wanted Cassie and EJ's story too, and that had to change the order of the books because I can't write. I couldn't tell their story after his because, I mean, it wouldn't make sense. So things got changed around. But this was because people asked for these stories, even though now they're chomping at the bit. They're not alone. I am so, I'm excited. I'm excited for all the setup we're doing. I'm excited where we're going. It's gonna get crazy. It's already crazy. What am I saying? It is legit already crazy. We got snipers. We got cleaning products. Got weird voicemails. Somebody acting like not themselves. And getting busier and busier. It's all good. We are excited too. That's a good thing. Dakota, thank you for your pure brilliance. Love you lots. Hope you have an amazing day. Thank you. I hope you have one too. But yeah, guys, this book is already fairly crazy. It just gets crazier. We just build to such a crazy place. It's just, I laugh because I know what's all going to happen. It is crazy. So in the ribbon, is the point of the ribbon to be able to fix things in other realities? To an extent. It's supposed to be like a gift to go in and like see how you're doing. Obviously Haley uses it to fix things, but it's also, to be able to tell people, like, hey, this is coming, watch out for that. But it's supposed to be a gift from the fairy goddess. Like once, you've been unselfish enough to share your light twice, it's kind of, it's a selective thing, and it's like a cool club that barely anybody can be in. Your fairy side is showing and I live for it. I'm trying to figure out which of the two kids are in the ribbon. Well, we shall see. But yeah, it's basically to help them, like they go to another reality, and if they know things the other reality doesn't, but it's mostly just supposed to be able to see yourself, like, and how your life is going. Obviously for Haley, that's to fix the things that go on in her life, and that's what she uses it for. Other fairies probably wouldn't use that for it. They might check in on like other things, but she's not a selfish person, so she wants herself and other realities to have a better life than she did, and she does that. Yes, Allison, I concur with your sentiments. What am I being a fairy about, guys? Will there be a ribbon Haley showing up anytime in this book? No, because we're not following Haley. It's not to say that Haley's not going into the ribbon. Is one going to show up here? No. For the kids being in the ribbon, you're ruling out EJ, Angela, and Max. That's an interesting ruling out. We'll see. So if two of the kids are in the ribbon, does that mean they're twice light bound to their mate? Yes, they have to be twice light bound to their mate to go into the ribbon. But yeah, I think Cassie is one of the kids going into the ribbon. We shall see. With Angela's site, I think it would be confusing for everyone. Her site's not confusing for everyone. I'm not sure what that means. You're having so much fun and having no chill. Yes, I have no chill. Ever. No chill. Ask my husband. Never have chill. If she went into the ribbon. I mean, that's not really... it's not really a factor of it. It would be probably easier for her than anybody else to find out where everybody is. She's like, hold on. I'll get everybody together. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see who they are. And she is beyond excited and extremely enthusiastic. I am. Guys, like this next chapter, it starts off with a bang and we just don't stop. And then I told you guys, I was like, debilitated by indecision of which epilogue to go with, which was going, and I had to figure it out because if I didn't choose a specific point for the epilogue, it was going to have to be in the book. So I have decided, with some help, which epilogue we're going with. And I just need you all to start mentally preparing now for what is coming, because this book, it's just, we just build. So yeah, just mentally prepare yourself for this epilogue. It's not going to be like my previous ones. So just buckle up, everybody. I'm thinking not EJ for the ribbon for many reasons, but mostly because you have said this book won't be very long and you love the ribbon too much not to give it more space. Cassie's book is the one I've said is probably not going to be very long. I'm not sure about the length of this one or Cassie's book, to be honest. We still have a lot to get to in this book, so it just depends on where we leave it and where everything goes with the story. So I'm not going to drag it out if the story is not there, just for the sake of making it longer. But I'm going to tell the story. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to drag it out, but obviously there's a story to tell. So yeah, I'm not sure how long this book will end up being, or Cassie's, to be honest. But there's things to know on Cassie's side. So we'll just see. We'll see where that goes. I'm going to make sure all the points that need to be made get into this book, and we'll just see where that ends up book-wise, chapter-wise. I think we're at 30-something chapters right now, right? I feel like that's true. 35. Yeah, we're at 35. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Gonna be epic, just making me love the books more. Like I said, at the end of this book, when the epilogue is posted, I'm going to hide from you all and the internet. After I post the beginning of Cassie's book, just go hide. We'll have to watch the replay because it's family movie night. That's always fun. Family movie night, that's fun. Wanted to say how much I'm enjoying EJ and Elise's book. I'm glad, because I've seen some people say they can't enjoy it because they're so worried about Alexander. So I'm glad that you enjoy it. I think Cassie has been missing in action because she is with her mate. I mean, Elise practically hinted at that a bit ago. I told you we were going to have to start doing some creative, gymnastics, hula hooping with Cassie's character at a certain point in this book, because can't give things away on her side. Levon agrees. Well, you guys. I mean, don't think it's Max in the ribbon because I don't know, but it just doesn't feel like him. We'll see. Max is fun, you guys. We see more of him later. But yeah, he's fun. So people have no patience with the order of the books. I'm glad you do. People have no patience, and I get that because I have no patience whatsoever. I think Alexander is an obvious choice for the ribbon, though. We shall see. When you start off Alexander's book, will you be starting off with him as a kid like you did in the last two books, or when he's older? No, we are not starting off when he's a kid. So we'll have to do a little bit of backtracking once we get to his book. But he's not going to be a kid. So there's a certain point in EJ's book where things start happening with him on his side. So we've got to backtrack a little bit, but he's not going to be a kid when we start his book. Will we have a scene where Elise and Haley fight side by side, or Haley and EJ? I would like to see how they fight together. We're going to see the group fight together not infrequently. Lots of things coming up for them. Elise made a comment to EJ that he was worried about Cassie, that she will be safe because you know who she is with. Did you tell us who she was with? I did not. I did not tell you who she was with. I implied heavily that she might be with somebody who is, not going to let something happen to her. If you did, I will go back and find it. I did not say who she was with. Intentionally. I intentionally didn't say who she was with. How are Titus and Veronica fitting the whole family in one room for weekly dinners, or is there a kids table? So they have a main, it's a big, like if you've been to a castle, I say this, I went to Ireland and saw some castles, but like their like main hall for like events and stuff is really big, and Haley can just snap everything done. And they can also make the room bigger if they so feel led. Yes. So, yeah, the title of Cassie's book will give away who her mate is. So once that's posted, everybody's gonna know. And I've already got it in my head of things I'm gonna have to say about this, you guys. So yes, when I post that we're to her story, I've already got, in my head the things that I need to say about it. So because I love the title of her book, but it gives away who it is. And that's not to say Alexander's title doesn't give it away either. So I'm still betting on a partial fairy for Cassie. You shall find out short-ishly, not in sometime. I will tell you the beginning of Cassie's title is the Alpha's daughter, and then I can't tell you the rest, but it's the Alpha's daughter. I was wondering, are you going to give Nathan another mate at some point? I've mentioned this a few times. Right now, he's not in the headspace for that. It is a possible plot line later in the series, and I'll have to see how I feel about that. I have said that, they're going to live for centuries, and that's a long time for somebody to be alone. So I lean towards yes, but I'll just, keep having that internal conversation with my character to see how he feels. I say a Hakura mate for Cassie. We're all going to find out. I'm so excited for your books. It's difficult to focus on other stuff. I get that. But yeah. Yep. Has Angela seen her own mate through her sight? Angela is an interesting fairy. So she likes to focus on other people and not her. So she doesn't see it that way. Let's see. Okay, so if we're jumping to when they're 21, how old is she? Gosh, I don't have to do math. Hold on. So she's, oh gosh, math. Hate math. Is she 7? She's 7. So we still got some time before that happens. She's 7, right? I'll sit down and figure that out. But somebody can totally tell me if I'm right and she's 7 in the next chapter, because they are going to be 21. I was thinking one of Alpha Oliver's grandkids, because you said their mom. So Alpha Oliver is the half fairy, half werewolf. So you said their mom was making them train on their powers. They did, and he did too. But then Cassie would have met him earlier. She has met them. I can't wait till these books come out in print so I can write notes on my pages. Angela's adorable and hilarious. What a combination. She is a lot of fun. So she's a lot of fun. She's truly like wanting to help Alexander, and that's a lot of the reason she doesn't focus on some things, because she's trying so hard to figure out why she can't see stuff in his path and where his stuff is going. So she focuses on that, and we'll see her, spending some time in Foray, and she's a little late to the draw on some stuff because of it. Do you know what the reward on Dream that we can give you? Is there some kind of benefit? I'm very flattered that people have been doing that. I've seen it. I don't want my books published on Dream because I want the chance to put them in a physical copy. So That's part of why they're free. The other part of the reason that my books are free, specifically where we're at, is, and I said this before, I went through the process with Dream of, once I completed original Haley's first book, I went through the process of that and read their contract and didn't like it. So yeah, I would only submit like finished books for that if I was going to put them on Dream. But I want to give it a chance and see. Like, obviously it's not guaranteed that, could get published, but I want the option. So that's why I don't go through that with my books. Talking about Angela makes me hate Alania. That might get worse. That might get worse, guys. She's awful. Okay. I was about to read something and it was like an Instagram like pop up and I was like, oh, that's not a question. They will get published. I would love that. But yeah, I'm through. Today I edited through She Knows. So sent that off to, got that one done. So that was a long chapter. And I laughed at myself because, guys, I made it longer. You know me, I have no chill. I was like, I started editing it and I was like, gosh, this is a lot of words. And then I was like, ooh, I should add more words. That's what I should do, because that's what my brain does. It's like, no, this sentence needs to be here. Oh, this other sentence, let's just write a whole paragraph. I have like the demons on my shoulder. There is no angel that's like, let's have some chill. It's just two demons who are like, do this. So my theory is Alania is blurring Angela's vision. I've seen several people say that. And this is what I'll say about that. I think people are a little focused on the wrong Connors kid about who Alania would care the most about. So it's Wednesday today. Can we get a special tidbit about anything coming up? That was actually what I just said. Are you going to re-release the first book when you're done editing it? I don't know. I will. I don't know. I think about that. So, a little tidbit. So for the next chapter, we are going to start out. It's Melanie's 16th birthday, and EJ and Elise are going to pop in to see how her shift went, and things are not going to be like they think they are. So we have a Drake breakdown, we have a Sam breakdown, and then we have EJ go down hard in pain, and he's not alone. So we start off there. Let's see what else. We have in this next chapter, we have 3. Is it okay? I want to say it's 3 kidnappings. I think there are 3 kidnappings. I just waffle on whether or not. I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to classify it as 3 kidnappings. We can chat about it later and you guys can tell me if I'm right or crazy, because that's always a possibility. But yeah, we have 3 kidnappings. I feel like that's a lot of tidbits. How did I do on tidbits? Somebody tell me if that's the kind of tidbits you're looking for. We have confusion from Alexander, the moody triplet. The moody triplet gets moodier. Wanted to say hi before I go to bed. Hi, Mandy. Love where the story's going. Glad you love where the story's going. Amanda, you got to tell me if that was good on the tidbits for the chapter that's coming up. So, somebody tell me. Absolutely wonderful tidbits. Thank you, Allison. But yeah, we have oh gosh. I need to start writing it or it's not going to get posted tomorrow, guys. That was the least fairy answer That was very near Erica Prentice. Right? I feel like it's still got some fairiness to it because I didn't say who was getting kidnapped. Or why EJ went down and is not alone. Yeah, guys, this chapter, it just oh gosh, it just starts off and you're like, okay, we're gonna chill, and then it's like, nope, we're gonna take it higher, and then you're like, okay, now we need to calm down, and it's like, no. So, I think there's actually also going to be like, I think that's gonna be in this one too. Oh gosh, there's so much. I thought she also disliked the fact that Angela has powerful sight. Alania does not like that. I guess her vanity is winning out from what you said, so it should be Cassie. So a lot of people are focusing on Alexander being who Alania is messing with. But she is vain, and she does not want there to be another fairy with more powerful sight than her, because who would talk about her then? Because she's no longer the most beautiful fairy. People were already saying Haley was. People say Cassie is prettier than Alania. So, yeah. Will the whole no popping thing get worked out in this book, or will it keep going? We'll have to see. Well, you'll have to see. I know the answer. Can you tell us what outtakes are coming up this week? Okay, so tomorrow we have, they go in the order that I posted them. So tomorrow, okay, we're going to count days, guys. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we have me or her, Megan Bishop's point of view on David's ultimatum to her. And then on Friday, we're going to have 7. It's a Nathan Connor's point of view, and him and Ray chatting. Saturday is a Gunnar point of view on his mate dying. And then the last one for this week is Nathan Connor's confronting his dad and seeing what went down with that. Oh, good Lord, don't let someone kidnap Haley again. Or Dylan will go hide in Beta Bond's back. He might run all the way to California, guys. Do kitsunes have a god or a goddess? They have a god. Yeah. Okay. We'll do the 5-minute warning now, because now that I've talked about how much is in this chapter, I'm like, we need to write some pages before we go to bed. Yeah. Oh gosh. It's like when you say it out loud, you're like, oh my gosh, all these things are happening this chapter. We're just going to go crazy. But I'm super excited about these next chapters. I'm always excited about the chapters. Who am I kidding? I'm excited about these next chapters too. I always love coming on here because I get really excited talking about this stuff. And I'm like, oh, the next chapter, it's just, you guys. It just like, oh, you're just like, what is going on? And then you're like, why aren't you figuring out what's going on? It is. It's like, I saw someone comment the other day and said, this is like a movie where you yell at the characters. And I'm like, it is. It's like the Scary Movie where if you've seen that Geico commercial where they're like, let's go hide over there. Let's go hide there. And she's like, why can't we get in the running car? And they're like, are you crazy? Let's go hide behind the chainsaws. It's this book right now, you guys. That's the level we're on. Can Alania pull people to Beyond to get / convince them to do her bidding? I'm pretty sure she is really bitter over there. So yes, she can do that. Royal fairies can pull anyone easily except other royal fairies. Other royal fairies have to lower their defenses in order to be pulled. So she could absolutely pull fairies to try to get them to do her bidding. The problem with that is she would have to find somebody who really didn't want to live because she's dead and can't protect them in the actual, like, she's in the Beyond. So you're on a different plane. Like, she can't protect anybody out in the world, which was, part of Fabian's influence. He could protect people, but he's dead and he can't do that anymore. So yeah, she could pull them to the Beyond, but she would have to find somebody who wants to die, because to go against Aiden would be to die. To go at the Connors would just be to like triple die because you've got 3 kings pissed off at you. Well, 2 kings and, you know, a really strong werewolf. So, and, you know, all their kids. It would be a horrible idea, but she can do it. Can witches cast a spell that would mimic the mate bond? No. We saw that they can block it. So we saw with Rachel in Raised to Cura that they blocked her bond, so she thought he was dead. But she is just a werewolf. So is Alania with Fabian in the Beyond, or is she just alone? They're together. Phelan and Fenelton won't be near her. They will not. They are very mad, and they have every right to be. So, yeah, Alania and Fabian are together, but it's not, you know, it's not what she wants, and it's not how, you know, because part of the relationship they had was that she had something that he wanted, and now she doesn't. She doesn't have power that he can't have. So, you know, they are still siblings. They are still, you know, kind of sad that they don't have what they used to, but that's kind of their common ground. So it's not the type of, you know, afterlife she would have had if she would have been a better person. So does the goddess punish Fabian in the Beyond? No. You are awesome, and I love these lies. Thank you, Cheyenne. If she pulls people there, wouldn't Arian and Fenelton find out? That would be a danger that they could find out. So, yeah, she would have to be very sneaky about it because, you know, they are watching her. So she would have to be very sneaky about it. It would be cumbersome. It would be a task for her. She's bored, though, so she could do it. But, I mean, if she did pull somebody, and Arian and Fenelton found out, Arian could pull them there. And you want to know what Arian could tell them? If you're going to do that, I'm going to pull my brother or my sister here, because he can pull them there. So, and then they would find out, and then nothing would happen because Aiden would just kill you, or Haley would just kill you. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. That's not to say she won't do it. But that's also not to say that the fairy would agree. Because like I said, you'd have to find a fairy who wants to die. And as we've established, the thing that fairies are most selfish about is their own life. So, does Haley use the super secret fairy bank or anything yet? No, she doesn't use it. Haley kind of separates herself from fairies. Like, she has her partial fairies, and she's not holding her kids back from, you know, she's not holding her kids back from being in touch with the fairy side, loving Freya and doing all that. But for her personally, like, she doesn't tend to associate with stuff fairies do. So she doesn't use it because she could just, to her, the safest place is the Hakura realm. That's where she felt the most safe. That's where she would always feel the most safe, because that was her first, like, sense of safety, was being there. So to her, if she was going to need something to hide, she would hide it in the Hakura realm. This live is making my night. My husband is on orders in Louisiana, so I can watch on my TV and enjoy. I'm glad. We're gonna do a few more minutes and we'll end. Can partial fairies use that bank? Yes, they can. Or they need a full fairy to get there. No, they can get in. They have fae blood, so they can do it. It's people who aren't fairies that need fairies to get in, or a fairy's word to get in, typically a royal. If you don't have fae blood, but there are obviously exceptions for that. Is the bank in Foray? No, I believe it's mentioned that it's in Florida, hidden in Florida. Yeah, I think that's mentioned in Lexi's book, that it's hidden in Florida. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm reading my outline. I'm like, ooh, that's happening this chapter. That's happening this chapter. Ooh, geez, help us all. Yeah. So, yep. Chapter starts just crazy right out the gate. Just crazy right out the gate. Everything's shady in Florida. I mean, hiding a bank in Florida is not really that shady. They're supernaturals and they don't want humans involved. Ray's family did die there. It wasn't shady. He just didn't have a good alpha. But okay. 30 more seconds on questions, guys, and then I gotta start writing this craziness. Why do I do this to myself? I can't even blame anybody. This is legit my own fault. I'm like, oh my gosh, this outline is so crazy. How dare myself do that to me? Did Fabian use the bank to hide his stuff too? No, he didn't. He should have, but he kind of considered himself smarter and like that no one would come look for his stuff. That's how Aiden found it all so easily. Good night, Monica. We need to do a time jump, so it'll be tomorrow time for the update. If we could time jump and it could all just like get written as I still look at this going, what have I done to myself? Have a good night. You did want us all to get pumped. I did come on here so you guys would get me pumped to write because I was, after the day I had, it was work. Work, you guys, has, I swear, sometimes, decisions just come down from the top and you're like, okay, that's great. But did you actually think about like the impact to someone's time that you're talking about? Answer. No, you didn't, because it's not your time and you've made a very bad decision. But does anyone want to hear that they've made a bad decision? They just want you to do it. And it's like, okay, so I like actually had to do math, which just, you all know, irks me. I had to do math and I broke it down for them on the amount of time that they're asking, because they're like, well, it's just like, it's just a couple minutes every project. Well, in a day, I process maybe at minimum 25 projects a day. I'm faster than anybody on my team, which is somewhat sad because I also write on breaks, but I'm still the fastest. So I like added it out. I'm like, so you're adding 3 minutes. You're adding 3 minutes to every project I process. That's going to take it down to only being able to do minimum of like 18. So when the numbers look bad, don't nobody come for me. But they're probably going to. They will, because, whatever. I swear. It's like the decision of them saying we're going to start bringing people back to the office in October. Like, the logical people are like, that might not be a great idea because, well, it's the end of the year. People start taking vacations and, oh, yeah, it's cold and flu season. And none of us have been around each other for over a year. But, that's logic. And we can't ask people to do that, apparently, because we can't, tell people to just, literally, if you would sit there and think about it for a second, you're telling people we're going to come back in the fall during cold and flu season when no one has been around each other. And so we have like basically no immunities built up to anything anymore. Let's just get the whole office with colds and then freak everybody out. And then no one's going to be in the office. It's a terrible idea. And then you have the holidays and everybody takes vacation and whatever. I'm bitter. It's just because I want people to like just think about something for like 2 seconds. And it's like they're like, oh, we've thought about this a lot. Well, you didn't think about it very hard because it didn't occur to any of you that it's cold and flu season. There's a whole committee of you and not one person thought, let's just push off till January 2022. No. We looked at the calendar and we're like, cold and flu season, here we come. Best time ever to come back to the office. I swear, sometimes people, I can't. Like, I don't know how you get to, I would love to, because I feel like there's a certain like level within a company you get and you just lose all common sense. And I'm sure it's where you make way more money than me. So, I would love to get to that level where, I don't have like the common thought process of people. But I'm not going to. I'm never going to get to that level. So I'm never going to understand those people who don't understand that cold and flu season is a thing. And you want to know why? It's because their ass ain't going to be in the office. They have an office that sits empty with like a bunch of pictures that I have never seen anyone in ever. So yeah, you get to like a director level and you're in the office when you want, or you're probably on the golf course. Let's be honest. So it doesn't bother you that it's cold and flu season. That doesn't occur to you because you're not there. I say this, I'm like going back to a hybrid style of work, so I'm going to be in the office some days. Can anyone tell me what days those are? No, they can't. Because they can't decide. They're like, okay, these tasks have to be done in the office, but they can also be done at home. And it's like, okay, if that's my choice, like I'm not coming. I can get my work done at home. I can get it done faster because I don't have like 6 people standing up to ask me a dumb question that I've answered 6 times. Whereas they can ping me and I can ignore it for an hour and get my work done. And that's my rant for today. But yeah, that's my rant for today. Just like, I would love to get to the level in my career where I'm just like, oh yeah, these like everyday common things that people think of, like, oh, we should give people notice because, well, people might have to work out childcare since they've been at home for over a year. No, we're just going to give generics. We're not going to tell anybody when they have to be in the office. We're going to keep people guessing for as long as humanly possible because, well, I mean, obviously I make enough money to have a nanny. So, like, I have a nanny. That just works out for me. Like, okay, that's great for you, but for my family, like, I need to know what days I'm in the office because I need to know if I need to start interviews for a part-time nanny because I had a horrible experience with a daycare. I know plenty of people who love their daycare, so if you love your daycare, I'm super happy for you. I had a horrible experience, and I'm sure everyone... See, I get off subject. Okay. We're going to tell the story, and then I'm going to end and start writing the chapter. But so I had a horrible experience with our daycare. I am obviously a super emotional person, and going back to work was very hard for me, which I did not anticipate. Probably should have, because again, emotional person. And I was in the office like for a couple months before COVID stuff happened, and then got sent home, which was exactly what I wanted. Just not how I wanted it. Didn't want a global pandemic to go home. Just wanted to be able to be at home. Since, I can do my job at home, which we've all proven for the last, like, almost 2 years. So, yeah, it's just crazy to me that employers used to be like, you have to be in the office, you got to be productive. And it's like, oh, wait, we've done the numbers now that we've all been home since COVID. And, oh, hey, we're more productive at home. The vast majority of people. You want to know why? It's because when I'm at work, I'm like, oh, hey, I want a Dr. Pepper. I'm going to go down 2 flights of stairs because that's obviously going to make me work for my Dr. Pepper instead of taking the elevator. So I take the stairs down and up. Oh, hey, I want a snack. I'm going to go down to the cafeteria again, go down and up. Oh, hey, I've ran into this person that I started this company with but haven't seen in 2 years. Let's have a 15-minute conversation because obviously I don't have short conversations because I can't stop talking. It's a problem that I have, obviously. And then, I get back to my desk and somebody's going to ask me a dumb question. And then there's going to be another dumb question. And there's going to be a meeting that could have been an email, but we all have to go sit there for an hour anyway. I'm more efficient at home because now I can go to a meeting. You know what? I'm doing like 6 other things because I didn't need to be in the meeting in the first place, but you can't do that in person because you have to be paying attention to the meeting. So, shocking, people are more productive at home. But we had a bad experience with my daycare. And, in this country, I've said it many times, it's stupid. But we expect moms to be able to go back after 12 weeks, most sooner. I am in a rare group that had 12 weeks covered. And that was a recent thing that the company I work for did. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be 6 weeks, and then you had to, use your PTO and stuff. But I was fortunate that when I had my kid, they had just came out with a policy that year that, they were going to cover the full 12 weeks. So I got 12 weeks off, which is not enough, in case anyone was wondering. We'll forever be mad about that. But, so dealing with all those emotions, I'm already an emotional person. Got all the hormones. They're all out of whack. And yeah, trying to like juggle pumping at work and being on meetings and people being rude about being on meetings. They refuse to push 15 minutes because apparently the world has not heard of mastitis. Several people I work with did because, ooh, did I get hot, you guys, when they were like, that sound is really distracting. And it's like, so's your TV and your child screaming in the background. or to your husband talking in the background on his call because now we're all at home. But I don't say anything about these things, do I? Yeah, yep. That was a conversation. Yes, like I'm not getting mastitis for you. That is life threatening. It's not a thing that I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait 15 minutes because here's the thing. If you pump early, you might not get enough milk. If you pump late, you could get a clogged duct. You could, oh gosh, I'm just not going to go into that. People are horrible. That's what I'm going to say. But yeah, so I had no chill and we paid extra for the camera. My child was in daycare for 3 days, 3 whole days. That's how much chill I have, you guys. And on the third day, I am, in a privacy room pumping, and I log into the camera, which at first, when they told us about it when I was pregnant and hadn't had my child and we picked this daycare, I was like, oh, we're not going to do that. And then we put my son in daycare, and I was like, we are paying the extra $25 for the video. Because no chill. My husband didn't even get to log into it because you only get so many logins, and I took them all. In 3 days, there was no chill. There was absolutely no chill. And so I logged in and I see, like on the app, it tells me, because, I obsessively checked the app to see what was happening with my child, like how many times they changed his diaper. I was that mom. I might still be that mom. I don't know. I just don't have daycare. So I'm probably horrible for those people to deal with. But this was not my fault. Okay. In my defense, I was that crazy mom, but this was also not my fault. They made me crazy. It wasn't they made me crazy. They validated my crazy. I think that's probably the best way to say it. They validated my crazy when everyone in my life was trying to say was trying to find a way to nicely tell me that maybe we shouldn't have the camera because I was a little obsessive about it. And then they went and validated my crazy. And my husband was like, we legit can't say anything now. But it didn't matter because we pulled him out. So I logged into this camera and I see him in a bouncer seat. And according to the app, he's been asleep for an hour and 15 minutes, which I was really excited about because he had not been napping well there, if at all. So, and they would tell me he was super hard to get to sleep. And then as soon as he came home and I took him out of his car seat, he was out. It used to be for a while, I was the only person who could put my son down for a nap, but he would go down for a nap great for me. It was just everybody else that had problems. But, which was great and not great at the same time. So other moms will understand that comment, I'm sure. For those of you that don't, it's great because you're spending that time with them, but it's also oh my gosh, I just want to take a shower or brush my teeth. Sometimes that doesn't happen, you guys. No judging. But yeah, and so he's in this seat and his chin's down on his chest, and the quality of those videos is not great, guys. And I was very hormonal. It was week 13, first time really being away from my kid. And it didn't look like he was breathing to me because it's a horrible quality camera. So I called them because first I would like to say I found the slightest bit of chill. And I Googled if they were supposed to be in this chair because I was 100% positive that they were not supposed to be. But I was also if I flip out about this and I'm wrong, that's not going to be good. So then, yes, I found out that I was right. It is not a safe sleeping service. So then I panic and I called the daycare. And they're like, oh, it's against our policy for them to sleep in those. I'm like, that's fabulous, but I'm looking at my child asleep in one of those, and the app says he's been asleep this entire time. And so, they're like, we'll call the classroom. So they call the classroom. I see the woman go answer the phone, and the feed cuts out because you only get so long. And the daycare hung up on me. These were all very bad things to someone with my brain and me, just in general. It was a bad thing to happen to me. So I have just met these new coworkers because I switched positions. I used to travel for work. But when I had my son, I wanted to get off the road. So, I'm just coming back from from maternity leave, meeting all these new coworkers, I like come out of a privacy room crying and like grab all my stuff, throw it. I say nothing to anyone. I'm just leaving. It was at least like 4:15, so I was leaving anyway. But now all these people are like, "Are you okay?" Because like they knew I was a new mom and all this stuff, so it's not like they thought I was a full-on crazy person. But I'm pretty sure in the back of their minds they're all like, "Are you a crazy person?" Answer, it's up for debate. I'm crazy about certain things. But so of course, my husband doesn't answer his phone, and he's the person that calms me down, you guys. He calms me down, but he doesn't answer his phone because I don't know why the universe didn't like me that day. And, through a series of events, I might have left him 3 voicemails of me just crying, probably incoherently from his end. I haven't ever listened to them. I've heard his side of the story. But I leave him 3 crying voicemails, all of which end with, "Why won't you answer your phone?" Which, in garbled, hysterical, my friends call them Dino voicemails. If you've seen the Flintstones, the little dog that goes, that's what they say it sounds like when I get like really upset. So imagine that crying, and that's what they think I sound like. I'm sure they're not wrong. So I call my dad, who's also another like even kiltered, will calm you down. He has this calming tone, man, doesn't answer. So then I call my mom. My mom and I are similar in that we're emotive and emotional people. We kind of like match the person we're talking to in a conversation. But for once, she was actually very like, I told her what was going on. She was very chill. She's like, well, maybe he woke up and they put him in there and he fell back asleep and he was only in there for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, that's something I can work with. Still not going to calm down, but it's something I can work with. So I worked about 28 minutes from the daycare, got there in 20. Don't do that. But left everything in my car except my keys to the car. Purse, car seat that needs to come out of the car to put the baby in, to get in the car seat, left that in the car. Everything, my work laptop, all of it, left it, cell phone, all in the car, just got out of the car. There was another parent there who was just like, he opened the door for me and was like, I'm not kidding. I don't know what this is, but I'm not touching that. So he held the door open for me and I like rushed back to like put in my like code to the back door that I have used 2 other times. Cause again, this is the 3rd day my child's in daycare. Gosh, I'm sorry. This is long. I do this. I'm sorry, guys. But then I found him. Obviously I did not find him in a good place. So like they have this chart of how they feed people. But every time I saw it, it seemed like my kid was always last and they would always stop feeding him like mid-bottle to give another child attention. And I'm sure that there was a reason for that. But as his mother, I was like, how dare you make my child wait like 30 minutes after it's time for him to eat. I'm also a person that's like very into my schedule. Like, don't mess with my schedule if I've set one, y'all. I'm a bit of a crazy person about it. So it bothers my brain. That's why I don't set schedules a lot of times, because if I do, it's gonna happen according to the schedule, y'all. So yeah, I find him on the ground crying because they've stopped feeding him like after 2 ounces of his bottle. And it's not like he took a long time to eat his bottles. He's like a hungry hippo, and he drinks more milk than any like child ever, I think. It's probably a normal amount, but in my head, he drinks so much milk. But yeah, and he does not like, he's like a greedy, like, give me all the milk little baby. So it's not like, he wasn't taking the bottle and they're like, oh, I'm going to go do this with another kid. No, you probably pried it from his hands because he's like, give it to me. So I get in there and he's on the ground crying because he's hungry. So I pick him up. I don't say anything. I take the bottle and I feed him the rest of it and I calm down because my child is okay. I have now laid eyes on him. I have him in my arms. It's okay. Like I tell myself we're going to be calm. And I am actually quite proud of the fact that I was relatively calm. I'm not really sure where it came from. I don't know what I channeled, but I waited till he finished the bottle. I burped him and then I held him for a little bit longer and was like, okay, so he's okay. We can be calm. We can be calm. And then I asked the daycare worker if he had been asleep in the chair the whole time. And I did not like the answer because the answer was yes, because he wouldn't sleep any other way. And that is not an acceptable answer. As a professional childcare worker, you do not get to be upset about the babies that aren't sleeping in daycare because it's 100% normal. They have to get used to their new normal. And I pay them a lot of money. It's practically highway robbery how much money they make you pay to put your child in daycare that you tend to have to put them in because you have to work. So I pay you a lot of money to not try and kill my child. So you deliberately saying it was the only way he would, like, we put him in that because he wouldn't fall asleep, and then he fell asleep, so we left him there for over an hour. That's an unacceptable answer to me. I don't know, maybe some people are like, yeah, that's cool. They sleep where they sleep. I was one of those. I'm just, I'm worst case scenario Amanda. That is a thing that I am. And my brain goes to all the bad things that could have happened. Yes, it was fine. Yes, it worked. He was fine. But you could have killed my kid. And I spent a lot of time and effort and money with all, like, you don't get to mess up my kid. If someone's going to mess up my kid, it's going to be me, and it's going to be an accident. I'm going to feel bad about it forever. Okay? That's just how I feel about it. So if I'm paying you a lot of money, I feel like your answer should be better, especially if you are working with children in the 6 to 12 month class. Like, come on now. I feel like that. I don't think there's actually a parent that would find that acceptable. I don't. Unless you had permission from me that we were okay with him sleeping in those places, that's not an acceptable answer. Straight up. End of story. And it shouldn't be acceptable anyway, just because of the liability there, honestly. Like, geez. So, again, all my stuff is in the car. I get that answer. I do not chew this lady out. I rose above. And I went out and talked to the director and the other director in their office. And I ripped into them because they would not say it was wrong. They just kept saying it wasn't their policy to let that happen. And I was like, this is not an acceptable response. I want an apology. And I want you to say it will not happen again. And all they kept saying was it's against our policy. I had a full-on Haley moment, you guys. Full-on Haley moment. And while this is happening, my husband is apparently trying to call me back because I left him 3 crying voicemails. So, he was kind of wondering what that is. And he gets home, and normally we're home when he gets home from work at that time. And we were not home. So I'm in the middle of, like, a full-on, like, rant. And I hear my husband, and like I said, he's a very calm, like, doesn't change his tone kind of guy. Sometimes you're like, are you kidding? Are you serious? I don't know what that tone is. Like, find some inflection. And when he yells, I've heard him yell a few times in my life since I've known him. And it's moderately terrifying. He's a very large man. So yeah, him yelling is somewhat, and he doesn't do it very often. So yeah, he yelled asking where I was and Henry was. And I was like, ooh, I might not have my phone. So yeah, we pulled, and in my hormonal state was like, you're either quitting your job, because I couldn't quit my job because I have all of our healthcare. I was like, you're quitting your job, or so they let him go remote, like, before COVID, and then everybody went remote. So it was kind of funny. Okay, that was a rant. We're going to stop. Okay, we're going to go back to the book. I already gave those tidbits. We might see if there's more than one sniper. There might be that coming up. When you're writing how Haley felt about the trap Eric and the rest of them walked into, I think you were channeling those feelings. Oh, probably. Probably, guys. But yeah, we might see if there's more than one sniper. We might see if one sniper is better than the rest. Yeah. So, okay. Gonna write a little bit before I go to bed. I'm gonna have to like stop myself because I'm gonna get like into this and be like, go to bed. But okay, yes, those are the tidbits. 3 kidnappings. EJ collapses in pain first. We'll say first. Lexi has your scheduling issue. Yes, she does. Drake breakdown. Sam breakdown. Is there more than one sniper? Is one sniper better than the others? Which one is the angriest? I'm trying to think of anything. Confusion from Alexander on feelings and things. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start writing a little bit. Okay. Yep. It's gonna happen. I'll talk to you all later. Yeah, we'll be live on Sunday again. Should be, unless something crazy comes up, and I will let you know. But I imagine that we'll be doing this again on Sunday. So, okay. Writing the crazy chapter. Look at you being all front with the answers. Very Wolf of you. We're channeling different sides for this. Yeah. So, yeah. Buckle up, everybody. Good night. Happy writing. Thank you, Levon. Thank you for letting me rant. I'm clearly still upset about what happened with my daycare. Kind of thought I let that go. Apparently I have not. Should probably think about that. But yeah, talk to everybody later, and just mentally prepare yourselves for that chapter tomorrow, guys. All right. Good night. Sleep well. For those of you that are getting up, good morning. Later.